To follow late breaking news this evening, this was the scene just an hour ago of a home in the 27,000 block of Twin Peak Street in North Bexar County. You can see flames ripping through that two-story house. Bexar County officials say Comal County, Chavano Park, Hollywood Park fire departments all assisting the Bexar Bulverde Volunteer Fire Department with this fire.
It is unclear if anyone was home at the time or if anyone was injured. The cause of the fire also remains unknown at this hour. We are working to gather more information and we'll have an update for you as soon as one becomes available. You can also follow the latest updates right now at KSAT12.
An accused drunk driver crashed broadside into another car, killing one man and seriously injuring four others.
That crash occurred as she was driving on the sidewalk. Just as the driver's trial on intoxication manslaughter charges began, things suddenly came to an abrupt halt.
Paul Venema reports that prosecutors tried to keep a defense expert witness from testifying.
The driver of this white sedan, 22-year-old Mario Velasquez Palau, was killed and four passengers in his car were critically injured when this SUV crashed broadside into their car. 24-year-old Rosalinda Alali was driving that SUV and is on trial facing intoxication manslaughter and intoxication assault charges. Dr. Eric Moody, an accident reconstruction expert, is among the witnesses that her lawyer plans to call.
Some of the calculations that were done didn't appear to be consistent with the configuration of this crash as far as the alignment of the vehicles go.
During this pre-trial hearing, prosecutors filed a motion seeking to have Moody barred from testifying, challenging some of his opinions. Others, however, tracked what prosecution experts are expected to say.
I think the scene diagram is pretty self-explanatory. It looks like she's exiting the sidewalk, heading back toward her travel lane, as I recall.
O'Laldy had veered from the Loop 1604 access road and onto the sidewalk where she struck the car as it attempted to enter the access road. Moody said speed, too, may have been a factor.
In my view, as an accident reconstructionist, it's one of the factors in this reconstruction, her travel path prior to the collision itself. It's just one of the factors of many that I think the jury will have to take into consideration.
Prosecutors dropped their motion and the process of selecting that jury began.
The first witness they'll hear from will take the stand first thing in the morning. That testimony from Dr. Moody should come in a day or two. Paul Venema, KSAT12 News.
The latest tally of coronavirus cases in the United States has jumped to 57. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And now one of the agency's top officials is warning health experts to expect to see the virus spread here in the U.S. The tally now includes 40 passengers who are aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship, 3 people repatriated from China, and 14 U.S. cases. 6 of those cases right here in San Antonio.
News like that could factor into whether American companies might sever their critical links to China and begin to look elsewhere.
Economists say it's doubtful they'll move their supply lines back to the U.S. due to higher labor costs. Jesse Degollado says that's one reason why those companies are finding Mexico more and more appealing.
Oh, it dropped. See how while we're watching it, it's dropped another tenth of a point.
The sagging stock market, says Trinity University economist David McPherson, is another troubling sign for U.S. companies. The worst of the coronavirus may not be over anytime soon. Already it's curtailed, even shut down their essential supply lines in China.
But if they think it's longer lasting, then they're going to move.
A lot closer to home, just beyond America's doorstep to Mexico.
Before it used to come by ship, say, from China. Now it's going to come by truck from Mexico.
Saving on transportation costs. Cross-border trade is still booming at Laredo's World Trade Bridge. Unlike China, the new U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement has lowered tariffs. And so far, no coronavirus in Mexico.
Both of those are going to encourage movement towards Mexico.
But he predicts it'll be a costly move.
You have to set up a new plant. You've got to hire workers. That all takes time and money.
The only constraint, he says, is Mexico's ability to increase its production capacity. Even so, he says, moving supply chains could benefit Mexico, border cities, San Antonio, and the state of Texas.
This Mexico part is one of the few silver linings of the pandemic, potentially.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Meantime, clinical trials are underway for a coronavirus treatment that's happening in Nebraska. Scientists with the National Institutes of Health are evaluating an experimental broad-spectrum antiviral treatment. It's previously been tested for treating Ebola and severe acute respiratory syndrome, also known as SARS. Turning to other top stories we're following today, we now know the name of a man killed over the weekend in a shooting with a family member. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office identifying him as 22-year-old Justin Robert Garcia. The shooting happened early Sunday morning in the 3500 block of West Salina Street. Police say family members inside the house woke up to an argument between the victim and his girlfriend. Then they heard a third person, a minor, walk out of a bedroom, and then they heard a gunshot. Police say the victim was found shot in the chest. Officers tell us the minor and the victim's girlfriend tried to run away, but police caught up to them about 5 miles from that scene.
Police are asking for your help trying to track down a robbery suspect involved in an incident on the northeast side. Police say this man walked into the Circle K in the 15,000 block of Judson Road. That's at the corner of Judson and Nacogdoches. They say he walked into the store and pulled a gun on the cashier, demanding money from the register. He was able to run away with the cash. If you recognize this man, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP. Information leading to an arrest could earn you a reward.
Just because they're not talking about it doesn't mean it is not happening. Every year, nearly 1.5 million high school students nationwide experience physical abuse from a girlfriend or a boyfriend. That's why a local doctor is asking specific questions when she sees patients at UT Health San Antonio's teen clinic. The story, part of Courtney Friedman's series Confronting Domestic Violence, called Living in Fear.
Is there someone in your life that's trying to have control of you or your relationship? Or have you ever had someone physically hurt you or sexually abuse you?
It's a difficult series of questions to ask and to answer, but Dr. Kristen Plastino has found the conversation can be easier in a clinical setting. That's why she screens all patients who come through UT Health San Antonio's teen clinic at University Hospital downtown.
Both our females and male patients. If that teen doesn't want their caregiver to know about it, then we really need to strategize on why that is, because it's important that every teen has a trusted adult in their life.
Ashley Rios' little sister Erin Castro was in an abusive relationship and was just 19 when she was murdered, allegedly by her boyfriend.
A lot of people might be even, embarrassed or ashamed. Some things that you wouldn't even tell your family or friends. We just tell our doctor.
And sometimes the red flags are harder to notice, especially when they're behind a screen.
When they're falling asleep at night with the FaceTime on, so that their loved one can see them falling asleep, or so nobody else is around. When you see text messages that use language that is damaging to that person, these are all warning signs.
Dr. Plastino is training other doctors, PAs, medical and nursing students how to do these crucial screenings.
This is a big issue in San Antonio, and I feel like the more we keep pushing that and we keep asking questions, maybe these girls or guys won't be so scared to even open their mouth anymore.
Courtney Friedman, KSAT12 News.
February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and KSAT is teaming up with our community partners for a PSA campaign contest to advocate against teen dating violence. The winning entry will receive $500 cash and a class party. You can find more information right now at KSAT.com. And if you or anyone you know is experiencing domestic violence, we have a list of resources also on our website, KSAT.com/domestic violence.
Now to the race for the White House. Tonight, top Democrats will square off on stage in South Carolina. 7 candidates have qualified for the debate, with frontrunner Bernie Sanders sure to be a target. ABC's Trevor Ault with the latest.
Senator Bernie Sanders is now the leader of the race for the Democratic nomination, and with that newfound momentum, he's also facing a barrage of new criticism.
Most Democrats are looking for a different answer than what Senator Sanders is offering.
I do not support Medicare for all.
But I profoundly disagree with his solutions.
Bernie supports the filibuster. I'm going to get rid of the filibuster because I want to get something done.
Some candidates going after Sanders on the trail, others using the airwaves. Michael Bloomberg and Joe Biden both releasing attack ads.
When it comes to building on President Obama's legacy, Bernie Sanders just can't be trusted.
But Sanders appears unfazed, staying on message.
It is a little bit funny to find myself as the so-called front runner.
But he isn't the only one with a lot at stake at tonight's debate. Michael Bloomberg is trying to redeem himself after a shaky performance in his first appearance.
Non-disclosure agreements.
How many is
Let me
that?
finish.
How many is that?
And former Vice President Joe Biden is looking to shore up support in South Carolina, his so-called firewall state, where he tells ABC he knows he can win
By plenty.
Billionaire Tom Steyer will be back on the debate stage tonight. The latest polls have him in third in South Carolina. Joe Biden is still leading there, but his lead over Bernie Sanders has dwindled. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
Let's take a look with time saver traffic. Here is the camera at 1604 and Babcock. And you can see what looks like maybe a stalled vehicle or a fender bender there on the lower level, but traffic moving pretty smoothly out there.
Take a live look outside with live cam. Gorgeous day out there, looking like a beautiful sunset, but big changes on the way. Katie?
Yes, we're seeing a few clouds out there on live cam, and you may notice a few clouds here and there this evening, but the big story is the breezy north wind that is settling in as we speak, turning gusty overnight through early tomorrow morning. We'll talk about all that, get you ready for your Wednesday coming up in just a couple of minutes. First, checking on the aquifer. No change in the past 24 hours, and in the pollen count, mold is up a bit from where it was yesterday. It's moderate today with a count of 750, but thankfully everything else is nice and low. Here's a look at those breezy north winds this evening. Sustained winds at 23 miles per hour at Randolph, 20 miles per hour in Castroville, and wind speeds will only increase over the next day or so. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.